Welcome to the 5-minute guide to MyGuide. When MyGuide opens, there's a slight pause while it loads the tours, and then there's a splash screen which you can scroll up and down and it'll tell you how to get started. When you're ready, press browse and you'll see a list of the maps that you can scroll through to the left and right, and when you've found one that you like the look of, and I'd recommend going with the guidebook tour, press open and then a map will open up and you can scroll around and zoom in as I'm doing here. If you tap the points, then there's a little bit of information shown. Tap again and the information will open up on a second screen, and you'll also hear the audio guide, which you can stop using the controls at the bottom. There's some tabs, and as you move through those you'll see additional information about that particular place. You can change the size of the text just by pinch and pull, and when you've read that and done what you want, you can go back to the map and the point that you are at will be highlighted and pulsating in a green colour as it is here. So one of the best ways to just get familiar with Greenwich is to go back to that info page and press on the index, and then you can go through a list of the places. So let's have a look at Greenwich Market. We've just picked that out of the list. We can see what it says about that. There's some pictures sort of give you an idea what it looks like. If you want to search, then you can actually tap search, and then as you type in the start of a word, the list will reduce down to the titles that contain that particular word. I'm looking for the observatory here. I've tapped on that. The observatory information's opened up. I pretty much want to go there, so I've tapped the heart feature there, the favourite feature, and that will also show up with a little red heart on the map so I can see where I need to go. When I go now back into the index, you can see that the favourites are all highlighted in red. The search feature also allows you to do a full text search, so I believe there's something that Joseph Conrad wrote about Greenwich, so I'm just searching for Conrad. You can see here that it did find that. It's up at the observatory that he used as inspiration for his book called The Secret Agent. You can use the back key on your phone to move back to the place where you can choose maps and tours, and you can also, if you keep pressing back, that's how you eventually get out of MyGuide. So back key just keeps taking you back, and then you can just move through and drill back into the maps and tours. Here we're going to just pick one of the tours so that you can get a look at and see what that looks like. So typically you'd use the tours when you're actually in Greenwich and use them to guide you around. So we'll pick the Greenwich Highlights tour here. You can see the screen looks a bit different. There's bigger circles with the points numbered in them and showing you the route that you're going to take. As you reach a point, and you can see the crosshairs there showing you where you've arrived, a green highlight will come up and there'll be an audio alarm, and you can actually bring up the information about that place and listen to the commentary. If you go off route, and I've done that here, you can actually decide that you'll not follow the tour, you'll just move around on your own, and then what will happen is that MyGuide will just whenever you reach a point, it will tell you about it. When you're actually on the guided tour, it's actually going to tell you you're going off track. It will give you audio warnings and messages on the screen, but if you decide no, I'm just going to explore, then you can do that, and that's actually what guidebook will do as well. So the guidebook mode will just allow you to explore. A good feature is this blue arrow. The blue arrow, if you've got a compass on your phone, will always point at the place you need to be going to in the real world. So you can see there as I moved the phone around, the arrow kept pointing in the same direction. So that's a good way to navigate. Also, if you look in the information page, you'll see at the top there's you can press on Google Maps, and it will give you walking directions from your current place to where you need to go. So if you're looking to get to the start point, that's a good option. And then finally, there are a number of things you can do to configure MyGuide. By default, it doesn't use system notifications because they're a bit sort of messy, but if you want to use system notifications, you can switch those on, and if you prefer imperial to metric, you can choose that as well. And that's it. 5 minutes. That's MyGuide.